build your perfect team, you need to make sure that your team has synergy. To understand synergy, you will first need to understand what are the best roles for every character. What is it that they can excel in for your team to function? We are starting off episode 1 of our series with the best roles for every Dendro character. But before we can talk about their roles, let me first briefly explain what roles there are. There are 3 main types of combat related roles in Genshin. There's DPS, sub-DPS and support. DPS refers to your team's main damage dealers. They usually have to be on field in order to deal the damage. For example, Hu Tao's kit can only function on field. Sub-DPS refers to characters who usually use their elemental skills or burst, then swap out. The item that they leave behind, be it for example Albedo's flower or Fischl's ores, will deal damage. Finally, for supports, which is the largest category, we have healers such as Jean, shielders such as Zhongli, damage boosters such as Bennett, enemy debuffers such as Venti with the Very Distant Veneera artifact, reaction catalysts such as Kokomi and her jellyfish to apply hydro, and finally drivers who stay on the field and can usually apply their own element easily to trigger reactions. These include catalyst users such as Nahida and characters with infusions such as Alhaitham. Now that we have covered the roles, let's move on to the roles for every Dendro character. Starting off, we have Collei. For Collei, as she doesn't deal much damage, she is best off acting as a reaction catalyst with an elemental burst, so as to apply Dendro on enemies to allow other characters to trigger Dendro related reactions. She can work well with characters such as Xingqiu and Nilo for bloom reactions, or even Raiden for aggravate. For number 2, we have Tighnari. Tighnari is an on-field DPS as his kit doesn't function when he isn't on the field. His skill allows him to unleash 3 charged attacks in quick succession without charging, and his elemental burst deals Dendro damage. Tighnari works best in spread or aggravate teams. Personally, I like pairing him with Raiden, Yae or Fischl so that they can apply Electro for Tighnari to use spread. Before we move on to the next character, if you enjoyed the video so far, may I kindly also request for you to click that subscribe button if you have not yet subscribed, as we are trying to get to our goal of 10,000 subscribers. It would really help out this small channel a lot. Thank you in advance. Moving on to the Dendro Archon, Nahida. Nahida works best with 2 roles, a sub-DPS and a driver. She works well as a sub-DPS due to her elemental skill applying the Seed of Skandha to enemies for easy Dendro reactions. Other characters can simply hit the enemy with an element that reacts with Dendro for the seed to reapply Dendro and deal damage as well. Nahida can also be a driver due to her being a catalyst user, and is able to apply Dendro on every normal and charged attack hit. As such, pairing her with characters like Xingqiu to trigger Bloom, or Fischl and Raiden to trigger Spread and Aggravate is very strong. For number 4, we have the stand-in Grand Sage, Alhaitham. Similar to Tighnari, Alhaitham is a main DPS as his kit doesn't function off-field. Alhaitham also works as a driver as his elemental skill infuses his sword with Dendro. As both of his elemental skill and burst serve to trigger Dendro reactions and deal damage, he fits these 2 roles the best. Using Alhaitham on bloom teams with Xingqiu and aggravate or spread teams with Yae, Raiden and Fischl works very well too. Up next, we have the Liyue healer, Baizhu. Although I say that he's a healer, but he's way more than that. Baizhu is one of the more versatile Dendro characters that can play multiple roles due to his kit. He functions as a healer as his elemental skill allows easy healing for the whole party with a simple press of the button. His elemental burst also heals the active character whenever the shield shatters or expires. Baizhu is also a shielder thanks to the refreshing shield from his elemental burst. Baizhu can also be a reaction catalyst as every 2.5 seconds or when his shield takes too much damage, the shield will shatter and deal Dendro damage to apply Dendro for reactions. Finally, Baizhu can also be an on-field driver as he's a catalyst user, which allows him to apply Dendro easily with normal and charged attacks. Baizhu works well for bloom teams with Xingqiu or Yelan, and also in aggravate teams, especially to give protection, healing and Dendro applications for Sino. For number 6, we have Yao Yao. Yao Yao functions as a healer with an elemental skill and also as a Dendro reaction catalyst, as Yue will stay on the field to apply Dendro continuously. She can also sometimes work as a driver with her elemental burst, although both her skill and burst don't apply as much Dendro as you would like. Yao Yao can work well in Bloom teams to provide some healing and also help to apply Dendro to trigger some blooms. For number 7, we have Kaveh. Kaveh mainly functions as an on-field DPS and driver, similar to his roommate Alhaitham. His kit doesn't function off-field, but he can deal damage with his kit as he can explode the blooms with his elemental skill and burst. Moreover, as his burst grants him a Dendro infusion, it will help him to apply Dendro easily to generate blooms with characters such as Xingqiu, Yelan, and Nilo. For the latest Dendro character to be released, we have Kirara. While Kirara's kit is mainly on-field, she doesn't do that much damage. That said, as she needs to be on-field in her delivery cat box that applies Dendro on hit, she can act as a good driver to trigger Dendro-related reactions. She'll work well with Nilo and Kokomi for Bloom, or Yae, Rider and Fischl for Aggravate or Spread. Last but not least, we have the Dendro Traveler. The Dendro Traveler's main role is to use her elemental burst and act as a Dendro reaction catalyst, applying Dendro for Dendro reactions. She can be used with characters such as Raiden for Aggravate and Nilo for Blooms. With that, we've come to the end of today's video. If you would like to see more of this series, where I'll be covering the roles of characters of other elements as well, do leave a like, comment and subscribe so that I will know that you want to see more, and also help out this small channel grow to the goal of 10,000 subscribers. What's more, we also just created a new Charge Coin community Discord server where you can come relax, chat, get some Genshin or Honkai related help if needed. Do consider joining, the link is in the description below. Thank you and see you next time, bye bye!